Alright, so we're going to make colorful castles in the style of Paul Klee. Now, we're going to use these paints here. And the deal is that every stone in this castle needs to be a new and different color. Now we can start with the colors that we have here. So I'm going to just start with these colors, except for white, because it's a white piece of paper. Then it's all about mixing. So you're going to mix the colors. So see how I got 3 different kinds of greens there? 4 different kinds of greens just by mixing. Now the deal is you don't want to mix much more than 3 colors at a time. You can mix 2 colors at a time, but really don't want to do much more than 3. And each time you mix, you want to clean it out with the rag here, with one of these towels. So mix, paint, clean, mix, paint, clean, mix, paint, clean, mix, paint, clean. That's what we're doing. We're mixing colors, we're discovering new ways to mix colors, and to keep our colors nice and bright, we've got to keep it clean. So we wipe each and every single time. So mix, paint, clean, mix, paint, clean, mix, paint, clean, filling in every single one of these stones with a brand new color discovery. And what you're going to discover is that white makes everything lighter, so you can mix almost everything with white to make it a lighter tint. So mix, paint, clean, mix, paint, clean, mix, paint, clean until you have filled in every single stone with a new and different color. You can see I've almost filled in every single stone. Last one here, and then right up there, that little tiny one, and then don't forget about the door. I'm going to do a light brown for the door there, and I am all done. Make sure you've got your name and class code on it. Alright, so last week we colored it. Now we're castle, colored castle. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make a landscape. Write your name on the back, and then fold it in half like this. Get the 2 edges and then spider fingers up to the middle, make a crease, and that is what's called your horizontal or your horizon line. It's a horizontal line and it is your horizon line. Everything above it is the sky and everything below it is the ground. Now trees have to start on the ground. I'm going to make tiny little trees in the background and big trees in the foreground in the front, because things that are far, far away look itty bitty. Now this does have a castle in it, and a magical castle at that. So if you need to draw some extra magical castle things, you may, but be sure you draw that in before you start coloring. So of course my castle will need a dragon. So I'm going to draw in a dragon. And I'm also of course going to need a princess as well, which I will draw in a moment. So you want to go ahead and draw in everything before you start coloring. That way if you make a mistake, then you can erase it. And also, if it's already drawn in, then you don't have to try to color in over it later. And you can, if you're going to draw people, you can draw that in however you like. And you don't have to draw in people if you don't want to. So I'm just drawing everything in, and then we're going to color it in with crayons. And we are going to need to leave a nice big open space for us to glue our castle in. Because what we're going to do is we're going to cut our castle and we're going to glue it into our landscape here, because this is a 2 project. This is 2 projects. This is coloring the castle and also making the landscape, understanding that things that are above the horizon line are in the sky and below are on the ground. Alright, so what we're going to do now that we've drawn it all out is we're going to cut out our castle, trace it, and that way we don't have to color it in. Now we're going to color. Now when you color just on a table, see, it leaves these white spaces. So I'm going to give you a piece of felt and you're going to color on this piece of fabric. Or you could do this just on another piece of paper, and that's going to make your crowns really fill in a lot neater and nicer. Now see, what I'm doing here is for my tree trunks, I am making sure that my tree trunks are straight up and down, and I'm going to color them all in straight up and down. And then for the tops of my trees, I'm actually going to use a curly line because it's very important, the line direction. So I've got these 3 different kinds of greens, and I chose to do this light green, and I'm doing these curly lines here. And then for my grass, I'm going to pick out a different color green, and I'm going to do straight up and down lines. So I'm doing these vertical lines for my grass so that it looks like grass, because line direction is actually really important when we color in. When your hands get tired, what you can do is you can make a peace sign and then put it in between the peace sign until your hand doesn't get so tired, and then you can switch again. And I'm making all of these different grass lines here. When it gets low, you need to peel it down. Carefully color around any of the extra drawings that you've done so that you're not trying to color on top of it. So I'm going carefully around my figure, and then I can speed up as I color in the rest. I'm going to use a different kind of green for my dragon, and what I can actually do is I'm going to actually use two greens and I'm going to kind of layer it up. I'm going to outline my wings and I'm going to kind of outline my dragon a little bit so that it shows up a little bit. See, I'm using this light green and then dark green on top, so that's something that you can also do with crayons. Okay, now that it's time to color my sky, I'm going to use horizontal lines, and I'm actually using the thick part of my crown. If you use the point, it's harder, but if you kind of tilt your hand, you can make a thick line with your crown, and it's a lot easier to color in with a thick line than it is with a tiny thin line. So I'm going to color that in, and then I'm going to use that point line around my clouds to make a nice outline. So just by using the point there and kind of pushing down hard, see, I make that outline around my clouds. And then for my princess, I'm going to pick out, remember, people are brown, they're all different shades of brown, so look through your box and find a shade of very light brown or dark brown or whatever kind of brown you want for any people skin tones that you want to use. And then you're going to use brown to fill in people, which I'm going to do here, and finish filling her in. And then when I'm all done coloring, I'm going to glue my castle in this empty space here.